I don't think that I should be this aroused by a 52-year-old woman as a gay man. But there we go, that's what Eurovision does. Hey guys, welcome back to the Rob Pop YouTube channel, your #1 pit stop for all things Eurovision this year. Rehearsal week is underway, which means that I have just one thing to do. It's time to react to the semi-final one second rehearsal 30-second clips. This is such an exciting time of year for a Eurovision fan. It is the week before Eurovision begins. I myself am off to Basel and we are just starting to get our first tasters of what we are about to see on stage. A couple of days ago, there were some pictures that were released of the 15 acts that were performing in semi-final one, so we got like the smallest sliver of what we can expect, but we really do have something to react to today. Each country has revealed a 30-second clip of their staging, and I cannot wait to react to each and every one of them, telling you what I think of them, whether I love them, whether I hate them, whether I think it's boosted their chances of qualification. That's what I'm here to do today, and I cannot wait! But yes, these rehearsals are now coming in thick and fast, which gives me very little time to edit, very little time to post, so I won't waste any more time. But before we do begin, I will remind you to subscribe to this channel. I am about 40 subscribers away from 1,000 at this point, which is beyond what I could have expected at the start of this Eurovision year. Will I make it? Who knows? But I have really loved having you coming along and joining me this Eurovision year, the way that you comment down below. So if you want to come along and join me for a camp or time and a cup of tea, that's what you can expect on this channel. It's not serious here. We like to have fun because Eurovision is what? Fun. So subscribe, give this video a like, hit the bell for notifications, and comment down below. Right, let's go. We're going to go from Iceland all the way through to Cyprus. That's 15 songs to react to, 30-second clips. What do I have to say? Well, we're about to find out, aren't we? First up, this is Iceland. This is Vibes Rua. This is pretty much what we'd expect. The outfits are the same, part of their brand at this point. It looks quite bare staging, it's quite sparse. I love the staging of the actual Swiss design. The vocals sound better. I'm slightly concerned by how bare this staging feels. It's just 5 dancers and that's it. These boys do have charisma and that will carry them a certain amount of the way, but we have been talking about this song as a song that is predicted to not qualify. I predicted it to qualify in my qualify prediction video, which you can check up there if you want to see what I had to say. My concern is that because there is not enough life going on stage, that it's just leaving it completely to the boys to bring the party to life, and that does worry me. Obviously, I don't know what they've got to bring for the rest of, the 2.5 minutes that I'm not seeing, but I was hoping to see a little bit more craziness, a little bit more zaniness in this. As it is, it looks a bit bare. But the boys sounded great. I thought they sounded better than they did in their national final, and that's got to count for something because that was possibly a concern that people had with these guys' vocals, but they've got great stage presence, great vocals now, great dance ability. Maybe it doesn't have to have all the bells and whistles thrown in, but when you're considering a song that you think might not be a definite qualifier, that's kind of what you want to see. You want to see them go the extra mile. I don't know that this does. Let's get on to Poland. Cannot wait for this. They're coming with energy, camera angles. Ah! Where is she? Yeah! I'm so glad she got to this moment. What a queen. Lifted into the sky. That body. Goddess. That is more than I could have expected. I have tried to steer clear of any spoilers. I heard that she may well be lifted, but I thought that would be at the start of the song. I didn't realise that would be during the song in the same way that she got to do in the national final. Oh my days. I don't think that I should be this aroused by a 52-year-old woman as a gay man, but there we go. That's what Eurovision does. It throws along some curveballs. Justyna looks amazing. What a woman, what a body, what a figure, what a face, what an absolute beauty. They are maximising this song's potential, and if Poland are going to do anything, they're going to throw absolutely everything at the staging. Camera angles, you name it, they always do it. And sometimes it's not called for, but I think this song is a maximalist entry. Therefore, Poland know how to stage a song to match that energy. It feels like there's a lot to scream about. It makes me want to jump from the rooftops, and I cannot wait to see this live. Let's move on to Slovenia. How much time do we have left? I didn't know if he was hanging upside down again. We know this is vocally going to be superb. It was in its national final. Klemen very reliable. This is pared back, but it feels classy. You know, this makes sense as an entry which wouldn't have a crazy amount of staging. The whole song is very pared back. It's very sort of relying on you focusing on the lyrics. They've clearly not done too much with Klemen, but the introduction of a female really matches in with that message of being like, you know, we could literally die tomorrow and we'll never know how much time we could have had together. So let's embrace the time we have together. I don't think that message needs a lot thrown at it. And I kind of didn't know that they needed to do all of like the upside down stuff that they did with him. This feels really tasteful. It feels like just enough without being too much. I think it puts across the message in quite an obvious way, but that is absolutely fine. They don't need to overcomplicate the message. And I think this could really resonate with people. I wouldn't be surprised at this being a shock qualifier. Vocally, it's great as well. This could really work, especially coming after what we've just seen of Poland. I mean, it's two polar opposites of like how to approach staging, but both feel correct and appropriate for their songs. Next up, Tommy Cash, Espresso Macchiato, Estonia. Okay, we're going right from the beginning here. It's interesting to see where these countries pick their 30-second clip to be. This is going to reveal nothing that we didn't already know. That's not a shock. I can't give you anything from that because that was just the 30-second that we already have seen from the Estonian national final. Doesn't look like they're switching things up much. I didn't like the SD Lal staging. Not convinced I'm going to like this either. But it's very Tommy Cash to give us nothing and keep us waiting and kind of troll us with this kind of thing. That feels in fitting with his brand. Number 5 in the running order, Ukraine, Ziferblat, Bird of Prey. Intrigued to see what they're doing with this in Switzerland, actually. Oh, the hair and the outfit. This feels full of colour. It's very different to the staging in the national final. Where's the grass? I miss the grass, actually. I don't like the glow effect. I'm not gonna lie, I preferred the staging at the national final. I liked the earthiness and the kind of nature vibe that they had with all like the grass layout. Surely that wouldn't have been a lot to transport across. I don't think they needed to change a lot about this, actually. I liked where they had the backing singers. I liked where everyone was blocked in the national final. Here, it feels like there's a lot more focus on just the lead singer. But I wasn't all that keen on that. It looked a lot more bare. And even though they didn't do a lot in the national final, it was quite simple, but like, it created a scene very nicely. This doesn't. And even though it's clear that this singer has stage presence, and I think that it's really great to focus on his stage presence, great fashion, great hair, you know, the vibe is all coming from him, and I totally get why you would want to focus on him. But I think just the way that people are blocked felt better before. Now everyone just feels like shoved across in a weird way, and it leaves a lot of empty space. Also didn't like the weird like glow effect around him. I thought that looked a little bit cheap. And if there's one thing that Ukraine staging usually isn't, it's cheap. It's usually very creative. This to me lacks a little bit of creativity, but we might just be seeing a 30-second clip which doesn't maximize what we can expect to see. Obviously, we're coming off the back of last year. Teresa and Maria's staging was one of the best ever, to be honest. It was superb. This didn't do that, but hey, there could be more in the other 2.5 minutes that we're not seeing. Go on then, let's move on to the favourites to win the whole competition. I'm not expecting to see much new here. This is Sweden's Kai with Bara Bada Bastu. It feels very similar to the national final, but we expect rock from Sweden at this point, don't we? This is what I mean about filling out the stage. The way that they've just got these trees and stuff propped around, it just feels like the blocking of everything is so much better done. I mean, it's what we expected. I feel like Sweden get unnecessary flack every year, and I've been seeing it on social media in the last few days. People being like, is that it? Like, guys, come on, we know by now that Sweden just copy and paste their staging from Melodifestivalen to Eurovision, and it's because they already have it right in the first place. I feel like this is, again, the Eurovision fandom kind of like wanting to be excited by shiny new toys. So, like, what, were you expecting them to come to Eurovision with totally new staging? That was never going to happen. It was perfect in the first place and it's perfect now. This is some of the best staging I've seen so far. Just because I've seen it before doesn't change that. But what I just said about Ukraine, about the way that things were blocked and the way that it made the stage feel empty, this is a perfect example of how to not do that. I'm talking about the way that like the fir trees are blocked and the size of the sauna, for example. The way that things are scaled and the way that things are placed on stage made this whole stage feel like they fill it out more, and it makes the whole thing feel grander, in my opinion. And the camera angles are tight so that there is stuff in every part of the screen, so it all just feels full. I cannot critique this. I couldn't critique it at Melodifestivalen, and so if I was excited about it then, why would I not be now? This still feels like it's got winner energy. The vocals still sound fantastic, even with a couple less dancers. The message still feels strong, the party still feels strong. This still feels like a winner in my eyes, just because other people are going off it and they don't, you know, they want to back a dark horse. This looks great. Who are you kidding? Let's move on to Portugal now. NAPA's at Deslocado. Let's do this. Portugal often know how to pull it out the bag at Eurovision, so. Again, the way that they've been blocked out in a wider part of the stage makes it feel more full. Ukraine, what's your excuse? He's cute. I don't know what I saw there was enough to push this song over the line if it's considered a possible non-qualification. But again, what I was trying to point out there was they've got a band on stage, but there's people blocked out in the right places so that they fill out the stage more. Which I'm not going to keep going on Ukraine, but I just wanted to use that as again an example. This time a band, and it feels fuller. So this was decent, but I kind of wanted to see more. You know how Black Mamba brought out sort of that walking silhouette. I understand that this song is simplistic, it's pared back. We probably don't want to do too much with it so that the message gets lost. But I would like to see an extra something, just something that makes me go, ooh, or ah. It was just kind of one of those rehearsals that makes you go, fair enough, they still sound good. And what? Let's go to Norway now. I'm excited to see whether they've switched anything up here now that we've got, you know, similar kind of entries like Belgium and Cyprus in its semi-final. We didn't get much of the dance breakdown there, did we? Has this bit always been so a cappella? But are they giving this a real chance to show Kyle's vocals? Not much has changed from the Melody Grand Prix staging. But Kyle looks in control. Fair play, I could be wrong, but I feel like the bit that was sort of like the instrumental fell out. It felt more paired back than before, but maybe I just don't listen to this song enough. But that felt like a good angle to really allow Kyle to shine vocally. I thought they would have changed this staging up a little bit, purely because we've got similar entries in this semi-final, and we've seen that Parg is also going through that kind of fire and armour vibe in the other semi-final. If they both qualify, will that detract from one of the others? But Kyle looks great, you know, it's all as it should be. I'd like to see the fire a little bit higher. I never like when people just bring like a bar of like really small flames. This song feels like it's calling for pyros, feels like it's calling for like a fire curtain. I'd like to see a little bit more drama. Maybe they're holding some of it back. It's still just a rehearsal at the end of the day, but I would like to see them go a little bit extra just to really bring the drama of this song, really bring that warrior fighter energy. Kyle still sounds great. We didn't know whether, you know, this whole emergency room wisdom tooth thing would affect his vocals. No, it won't. He still sounds a-okay to me. Let's go to Belgium now with Sebastian's Strobe Lights. Ooh, I like this already. They're using a different part of the stage and it shows. Obviously the raised platform has gone, which is a shame because I liked that, but I love that they're using a different part of the stage. This is good. Oh, this is slick. Fair play to Belgium. They said, we are not going to be a shock non-qualification again, not on my watch. This really stands out. So many of the performers this year, I feel, have been using the same part of the stage. But it's a huge stage, and clearly Belgium have decided they're going to use a different part of it. They're going to work horizontally, if that makes sense. But it feels really well choreographed. It feels like they've got this like warrior action vibe about them. They all look perfectly in sync and it was very and I just think it really stood out. And everything that I've watched so far, I thought the way that they planned this just felt really creative, and like they really looked at Swiss's stage layout and said, okay, what can we do with this that feels individual, which feels unique? We're in a semi-final of a lot of males, but how can we really bring this to life? And when I compare this to Norway that I saw right before me, this feels a lot more creative, feels a lot more bold. And Red Sebastian looked like he really like clicked into that choreography as well. He looks very much a part of it. He looks at home on that stage. The vocals sounded more confident, and this is the first time I felt confident about this song, and I'm like, maybe this will click for me properly when we get to Basel, because I really liked the heavily choreographed nature of this. Boom, boom, boom. Red Sebastian, one of my favourite rehearsals so far. Very impressed with this. Come through. Next up, song number 10, Azerbaijan, Mamagama, Run With You. What are we doing with this? I like that outfit, I think. I like that they're playing with the camera here. Some of the camera angles feel randomly chosen. I'm not sure he vocally sounded amazing there. As it was getting to the end, some of his high notes sounded a little bit shaky. The camera angles genuinely felt like they'd pulled them out of a hat at some point. It was just like wide angle, swooping angle, close. Very random, felt like it had no real thought process behind it. I wasn't amazed by what I just saw there, I'm not gonna lie. It didn't feel like it had a lot of thought going behind it, other than I'm going to sing to the camera and show that I've got personality. I didn't see a great deal of direction. I didn't see what like the dancers were offering. It all felt very compact, like they all felt really close to one another. It was like claustrophobic staging. This is a massive stage. They seem to be playing with like the smallest part of it. I imagine so many of them are going to do the thing where they strut to the front at the end, but like Red Sebastian is a perfect example of how you can use all of the stage to really make your performance feel maximal. There's no reason why this song couldn't have done the same. While I'm happy to see some personality from Mamagama, I feel like they needed to do more with the staging that made me feel excited, because this song is currently a borderline. What are you going to do to excite me? Certainly not this rehearsal. It was passable, but not exciting for me. Song number 11, Gabry Ponte, Tutta Italia for San Marino. This is, I've spoken a lot about what I think they're going to do with the staging for this. So I'm very intrigued to see whether they're just plonking the DJ on stage and letting the whole thing feel empty, or whether San Marino have found a way around that. Very intrigued to see this. Ooh, I like the LEDs on the floor. More of that, please. I feel like I haven't seen enough of people's LEDs so far. Okay, we still have mass singers. It does look a bit bare. Loads of wide shots. I like the LEDs a lot. I'm torn. There's part of me that says yes, that rehearsal just confirmed my fears and the reason why I think this might not make it. Those reasons were because I thought that it wouldn't be enough to just plonk Gabry Ponte on stage with a DJ deck and just have some mass singers around him. That is exactly what they've done. It's not as bad as it was at the national final. They've done a lot of pretty stuff with the floor. The spacing feels nice, but there were way too many wide shots there. I want to see more fire. I want to feel maybe some more crowd shots. Maybe that's the thought process behind a lot of wide shots. That 30-second preview didn't feel as fun as I wanted it to be, but there were definitely things to take away from it that I'm like, oh, I didn't see that coming. The LED floor felt very nice. I did like the mask. They looked a lot better this time on the singers than it did at the San Marinese national final, but I do still feel this may look a little bit bare, and it just goes to confirm my fear of sending DJs because he's just stuck behind that deck, forced to try and show energy by jumping up and down, but is the energy really transferring through the TV? I'm not sure. Number 12, Albania, Shkodra, Elektronike, which did come through Albania. You can't fuck this up. Please. I think this is in my top 3 at this point, I'm not gonna lie to you. Oh, she looks great. She looks expensive. I love this like square barrier they have around. I love what Albania has done with it as well. Worked that stage queen. Okay, I didn't see enough to go off there yet. I would like to see a little bit more fire. I saw a few little sad flames. I'd like to see a little bit more fire. I get that this is early in the song. I think that will bring drama along more as the song goes along. It's shown from like the first verse and chorus, so we're not going to be getting the most drama straight on. They're not going 10 out of 10 straight out the gates. I get that. The outfit looked fantastic. I like what they did with, you know, that square, I don't even know what you call it. It's like a barrier, but like an outline of the stage. I like what they did with the colour of that. I thought that looked really cool. I like the colouring of this. I know that red and black is very typical from Albania, but this feels like a red and black entry, so you know what, like it just makes sense. Her stage presence looked fantastic. I can tell that she's confident powering forward. I know that as this progresses, this is going to be even more impressive. I've seen just enough to pique my interest here, and God knows I'm rooting for this. My favourite song in this semi-final. I'm reserving judgment until I see the full 3 minutes, but good for now. Netherlands now, one of the favourites of this semi-final. This is Claude and this is C'est La Vie. He's so handsome actually. I feel like I don't even think about that enough. He's got great charisma, like a great smile, a great connection with his eyes and the camera. The vocals sound really good as well. I think they're definitely going to be wanting the jury votes with this, and his vocals sound good. We didn't see a lot there, but I assume that's at an early point of the song again. It looked very compact, like if they were keeping it all into one shot, which Netherlands do like to do. But it didn't expose a lot to us, but what it did expose to me is that Claude has a great control of the stage, a great control of the camera. He connects really well with the camera, and even though I don't know what's happening with the rest of the song, I see a vision here, and I see that there is a larger vision than just this 30-second clip for this song. Very confident performer, great rehearsal that I just saw there. 2 clips to look at now then. We're moving on to Croatia, Marko Božniak's Poison Cake. Let's see whether they managed to pull out anything from the bag to possibly make this a contender to qualify. Fair play to them, they brought the fire that I wanted from some of the other acts. They brought Poland's stage effects. I like his outfit. I'm liking the colouring of the staging. The coat comes off. I quite liked that, you know. Fair play to Croatia. Some of these artists, we're talking like Albania, Estonia, they're showing like the first part of their songs and they're like, we're gonna leave you hanging. Croatia are like, We have approximately 5 days to raise some hype for this song that has got absolutely no hype so far. We're going to show you the best part of the song so that you can start talking about our entry. And fair play, that makes complete sense because this was a good rehearsal. I liked that it felt full of colour. It felt really dynamic. I loved that they had sort of like distorted camera effects. There was a lot of fire. I liked the outfits. I'd like to see a bit more of him. I feel like the lighting was so dark on Marco himself that even though I realise he's going for a dark storytelling moment, I'd like to actually see his face a bit more. Marco has a lovely expressive face. I really enjoyed his personality in the national final performance. I would like to be able to see his face to sell the storytelling, but I really like the colour grading of the stage. I love what they were doing with the blocking of the stage. I like the dancers, the colours, the effects. Plenty of positivity here, and Croatia are quite literally bottom of the odds for their semi-finals, so I don't blame them for throwing out a rehearsal like this. They're throwing everything at it. They are doing everything they can for Marco, and I really respect that, because sometimes I feel like, you know, Natalia Barbu last year, for example, sometimes these delegations see that they probably aren't going to qualify, and they almost just like throw their artists to the wolves. They just throw them under the bus with the bare minimum. Doesn't look like Croatia have done that. They're trying to give Marco a fighting chance here, and that was a positive rehearsal. Right, last but not least now, the 30-second clip of Cyprus's Shh by Theo Evan. I'm excited for this one. They've really hyped this staging up, and this looks impressive already. How is he staying up there? Oh, he has got his feet on. No, he doesn't. This is so creative. So he does touch the floor, they lied about that part. That was exciting. That was really cool. I'm not surprised they showed us a very early part of that, because that matches the staging that we've seen so far. I imagine there's some really unique things that he's going to do on that apparatus that they're not letting us see yet. They're kind of keeping us guessing, and it's exciting to see. I mean, we've had 69 editions of Eurovision at this point. It's like, what more can you do that we haven't seen before? We've never seen this before, and what I can see is that actually Theo can keep up with this. He doesn't look overwhelmed by the staging. It's not swallowing him up. It's not detracting from the song. I feel like he's still able to give us a steely look to the camera, a strong vocal. So if you can do staging like this and keep the vocal strong and keep your performance razor sharp, why not? This is really impressive, and you've got to look at this and think, Cyprus are a strong qualifier. I'm excited to see the rest, almost more than every single rehearsal I've seen so far. This is the one that makes me go, I need to see the rest of this performance, because I feel like we're at surface level of what we're going to get with this, and I think there's going to be some really exciting twists and turns that they haven't shown us yet from this. I really do think this could be a top 10 in the final at this point, and this 30-second rehearsal definitely backs that feeling up. Snap, snap, snap. This was a good rehearsal, girls. Right, that's all of the rehearsal clips for the first semi-final. This is shaping up to be a very, very interesting semi-final. I saw some really good clips there, which have got me very excited for Tuesday. What would I say were my highlights? I mean, Cyprus at the end there was super impressive. I know that we'd already seen him on that apparatus in the pictures from a couple of days ago, but seeing it in motion and how stable he was, the dynamism, him falling, how the vocals remained. Belgium, I was very impressed with Belgium. Sebastian looked fantastic, and I loved the way they played with the staging this way rather than that way, if that makes sense. That was unique. Sweden still looked fantastic. Poland looked amazing, looked like it had all the chaos that you'd want it to, and Justyna is going to the sky where she belongs. Wait, that sounds like I want her to die. I literally want her to like win this competition, so Justyna, live on forever. Get me to battle! So those are my opinions, those are the songs that I'm excited for, but let me know which rehearsals got you salivating, got you super excited. Are you a Poland fan like me? Do you love Cyprus? Or have I been underrating some of the songs that you absolutely love? All opinions are welcome so long as you are nice and kind with them. But that does bring me to the end of this video. Obviously I'll have a semi-final 2 rehearsal reaction video, and hopefully a big 5 reaction video, depending on whether that comes out before I reach Basel. There's a lot going on. But thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this video. Sending love to you all out there in Europe and beyond. But for now, that just leaves me with one more thing to say. Good night.